5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Clingers Have Spoken. My name is Joel. That's Michael, as always, through Zoom. And we are here to talk about episode 5 of season 46 of Survivor. A little bit of a twist that I personally did not see. Michael, how are you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I'm happy because our fan favorite Ben is still alive and well. And yeah, they really made it seem like we were gonna lose a great character way too soon. And then Jem ended up going home, and you know, from the very beginning, she seemed like she's a person that would be a pre-merge boot. So happy to see our guy Ben still in it.
Yeah, I honestly didn't hate Jem as a character. I don't really fully understand or appreciate her gameplay moves, I guess, but she's definitely the person that of the people that have left, that I am a little upset to go, I guess. Everybody else, I'm kind of that's cool. See ya. But Jem, that was an interesting dynamic. She was the only person that really lied on that tribe, which was interesting. But the Vibes tribe remains the Vibes tribe, which we'll see what happens come merge time. But, I thought it was interesting, the dynamic of we could go with Ben, who's just super social, super cohesive, or we could go with Jem, which we really don't have a problem with, but she's doing a lot right now. Mm-hmm. And trying to navigate between which one would be better for our game going forward. And instead of what the situation is on the YANU tribe, instead of getting which negative is greater, it's kind of which person do I actually want to work with later?
Yeah. Instead of having 3 people on your tribe who are really weighing you down, it's no one here is really weighing us down. We all like each other. It's a good problem to have, that you have to vote out someone that you like. I can see why they stuck with Ben. Ben's a guy who's going to be able to build bridges. Once you get on an island with other people. I don't know that Jem is going to do that. It doesn't seem to me like Jem is particularly closer with Mariah and Maria than Maria and Mariah are with each other either. So right. I didn't think it was a terrible move, especially if you don't know the merge is coming. I know that it is coming based on what we saw in Next Time on Survivor tonight, but if you don't know merge is coming, maybe Ben is 10% better in the challenges, than Jem. So I think it's probably a good decision.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did not see it coming. I thought Ben was for sure going home. Did you think that Ben was going home by that edit?
Yeah, I did think Ben was going home, going into tribal, and but also, it kind of had me a little bit because I was it seemed like Ben was so, confident that he wasn't going. He didn't seem worried to me at all. Jem seemed like she was playing more like someone on the bottom than Ben was. And so, that might have just been both of their perceptions. And Jem wasn't really on the bottom, although she's the person who ended up going out. But I do think that the editors really did want us to think that Ben was going home for a little bit of drama. Because, I wouldn't be surprised if we got to, the post-game interview with Jem tomorrow, and she's yeah, I never really felt like I was, in with everybody else, but I thought I had done enough to get the votes. And I thought we had Charlie, but I wasn't really connected to the other girls as much. That wouldn't be surprising for me to hear.
Yeah. I think that's what's interesting to me about the move and the dynamic moving forward is you've got Charlie and Maria, and they're this power too, right? And they wanted to remain in the middle and anonymous the whole time. But I felt like Maria was closer with Jem, then I guess maybe she is, you know, and like if it's really Charlie and the girls, because that alliance, Charlie and the girls, was played up way more than like Maria and the boys. You know, like Maria has a relationship with Tim, so that makes sense. And she has a relationship with Charlie, but we haven't really seen Maria and Ben at all. And I thought it was interesting that Maria just like we didn't really see a lot of conversations that Maria had. Like she had that one conversation with Charlie and Ben was like, "Look, we can just vote. I can't vote, but you guys can just vote for her, and we're good."
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting that was like the only conversation we saw tonight. And I'm sure there were other ones out there that were had. One conversation that I guess didn't happen was they didn't tell Mariah that they were doing that, which is also interesting. Because in my mind going in, I was like, if I'm Charlie, I'd walk up to Tim and be like, "Look, man, Ben's the vote. Like they're gonna come and they're gonna try to tell you that Ben's the vote. Ben's the vote. Like we're not moving them." But it was the other way around, and they didn't talk to Mariah, which I thought Mariah was like cool with them. You know, we've seen a lot of Mariah like testimonials and not a lot of Mariah like action. So I thought like, okay, she must be like in, you know, she must be like really cool with like Charlie and Maria. And she was more cool with them than Jem, but she wasn't even in the loop on this vote, which I find interesting.
Yeah, I think that like the unknown about the Beware advantage probably plays into that in the shot in the dark. You know, like if Mariah is buddies with Jem, like she might be buddies with everyone else too, but like if she finds that out and then she starts acting weird around Jem could get a weird vibe and play her idol, which they didn't know she had, but play her shot in the dark. You know, if it's going to be 5-1 vote, you might as well play a shot in the dark. There's no reason not to. So I think probably some of that is, you know, just an extra precaution, not necessarily like, oh, like Mariah's not really with us. It's probably just as much like that they didn't want Jem catching a weird vibe from Mariah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But also like we've talked so much and like they've shown so much of like, well, this person doesn't have their vote, so we're going to vote them out so that they don't play their shot in the dark. And like, I feel we are overvaluing the shot in the dark. Like, I know what happened last season, and I know that Caleb, like, you know, nullified like 11 votes last season with a shot in the dark. But the odds of a shot in the dark are not crazy high. Like, they're like 16.67% chance of hitting.
Yeah.
Like, those aren't good odds. And a lot of players will be like, I'll never use my shot in the dark because my vote is more valuable anyway.
Yeah. But at the same time, like it's like with drawing rocks too. Like people don't want to draw rocks, even if it's like there's not that big of a chance this is coming back on you, and this could really like save your game if it goes right. But that 16.6% chance, like people get freaked out about that. Like I think it's easy for us to like say that here and just think about like the numbers side of things, like the math of it all. But when you're actually there and it's like there's 16% chance like it doesn't happen and then something weird happens, then I could go home. So I mean I think I can see why they're worried about it. I kind of like the shot in the dark. I think it adds a wrinkle that it doesn't affect the game that much. It just adds another layer of strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a layer of strategy. And I don't know. I just don't know if that layer is necessary.
It's not necessary. Nothing is on this is necessary.
Yeah. But, yeah. Green Tribe. Interesting that they had to go. I say we just do like a quick YANU, like, yay, like, so happy you didn't have to go to tribal council. You got some food. You went 11 days without Flint. Like, congratulations, Kinsey, Tiffany, and Q. Way to go. Really looked pretty dire there. Looked like we were going back. It would have been tough to go to 2, like, right before the merge. Like, that would have been pretty brutal. And I don't know who would have left either between Kinsey or Q. Probably Kinsey, but I don't really know that. Then just, wow. Way to go, guys. Happy for the 3 of you. I like all 3 of you as characters, so I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, it really did look like they were going to lose again. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. But
And
what
they had
about
to do-
Jeff? What about Jeff giving them crap at the mat chat, bro?
I
think he did that, and then later he was like, "Let's go, YANU," because he felt bad, like that he had said that.
bro, if I was on that tribe, I wouldn't have laughed at all. I'd been like, Jeff, come on, man. Are you freaking kidding me? Like I was
Yeah, dude,
painting in my room.
You're the one that put Jelinski, Jess, and Banu on our tribe. This is your fault.
Yeah, there's a scene in The Office where like Andy is like hiring Gabe, Aaron's former boyfriend, and Pete's former girlfriend, and then Pete, like, they're sitting in the conference room, and Pete and Andy's like, "This is an uncomfortable situation, huh?" And Pete's like, "Yes, this is a very uncomfortable situation that you have contrived." And that's how that felt. It's like they're like literally they're trying. Like it's not like they're doing really bad individually. They just got put on a tribe with freaking Banu and whatever her name was, and Jelinski. Like, come on. That's so rude. Like, these people haven't had Flint for 11 days, and you're going to give them crap about it? That's crazy.
Especially because, like, the other tribes are, like, clearly, like, better put together than them. Like, it's not like, oh, you know, we kind of thought Jelinski would be, like, you know, like, or we kind of thought Jess would be, like, no, like, you put maybe the two weakest girls in the whole season on the tribe, in Jess and Kenzie, and then Banu. No way you thought Banu was going to be like a good Survivor player. Maybe you thought he'd be better in challenges, and Jelinski. So like the other tribes were such better put together. Like it's not even close. Yeah. And that's what we've seen played out so far. I'm honestly surprised that you know, that they didn't lose again. And that they were able to eat some pastries today.
Yeah. Yeah. Just even the other tribes were like, Jeff, dang, like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, what the heck? That was crazy.
I just want Orange Team to lose so that Soda can go home. I'm so tired of her constant chatter during the challenges. Just interjecting constantly. Like, her reactions to everything is so over the top.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, I really appreciate Soda as like a person. And I think like Soda is incredible at her job, probably. Like she's a special ed teacher. So like I think like that type of energy is so amazing. Like I'm sure it's amazing in her job, but it's different and it's loud.
Not the kind of person you want to be like on an island with for 11 days.
Right.
Minimal food. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure she was a great quest team leader at Lipscomb University.
Yes, but I would have hired her in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
You know, as far as like a person I want to like chill with, no.
Yeah,
we all need to be people who are like, we're gonna all just shut up right now. We're all tired. We just gonna shut up.
Speaking of people on Orange that I really don't really catch a vibe with and wouldn't feel comfortable chilling with is like Venus. Like, I feel like she's about to just blow the game up in like a crazy way. Like she's following Hunter and then just like kind of insulting him and then kind of pulling it back. And then like, just, I don't get her. Like her whole vibe is so fascinating to me. Like, it's like, I feel like she doesn't know how to relate to the people on her tribe and it like shows. Yeah. And now you have like Orange Tribe as a person, since they've never gone to a tribal, that like if they went to a tribal, maybe they would have gotten rid of Soda, but like maybe they would have gotten rid of Venus like the first day, you know?
Yeah.
And like now both of those people are going into the merge, and probably more concerned about like Soda or right now, but like Venus is just a wild card. And like,
yeah,
if I'm on that tribe, I'm scared. Like I feel like this plays really well for like green and purple.
Yeah. Yeah, on Next Time on Survivor, it seemed like Venus was kind of like spilling the beans to everybody about the Orange Tribe history. So, yeah, I think Venus is for sure the kind of person that's going to flip. I honestly don't think Soda's going to flip. I think like she would if she thought it would get her farther, but I don't think she feels like it would get her farther, so I don't think she's going to.
Yeah, I think it's much more likely
Venus is just kind of like, I've never really vibed with these people that much, so I want to like vibe with people and play with them.
Yeah, I think the more probable thing is like Soda's tribe flips on Soda more so than her flipping on her tribe. Like they've already talked about kicking Soda out anyway, and she doesn't know that information. So that's interesting. And also, like, what a win this is for Sega. Like, I don't like Sega is the Vibes tribe, and they like literally are. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen like a tribe have so much fun on Survivor together. Like Ben's sitting there like, man, it's just like cool to like sit on the island all day and just like chill with these people. Like it's just a good time, just having fun on Survivor. Like, I don't remember a person saying that. Like I remember them being like, oh, we had this conversation. It was really interesting talking to this person that I never would have talked to before. But like they appear to be having like a genuinely good time.
Yeah. Salsa dancing on the beach and chilling out. There's just like no one on the tribe who like everyone's like rolling their eyes at, you know?
Yes.
Like they like there's not a single person on the tribe that everybody's like, ugh, this again? Like what is their deal? Like I can't like there's just nobody on the tribe who's like that. And like oftentimes if no one is like that, you just choose one person and you just like everyone else just acts annoyed with them. Like in a group of 6, like 5 people will just like kind of just decide that they're going to roll their eyes at everything this one person does. But that honestly like didn't happen from what we've seen. Unless that person was Gem and we just like didn't see it because we were with Purple Tribe the whole time. But like, yeah, I mean, I think that says a lot about all 6 of them and like their social game. And just they're the kind of people who can just get along with others. It's a great trait to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's wild. Like I never think that a tribe is gonna like outlast another tribe. But if that's gonna happen, like this is the season, you know? Like if that's final 5, I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be like a little surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked. You know? Like I don't really see any of them jumping ship immediately. You know, whereas with Purple Tribe, like you got Q that's already saying like I don't really care about Kinsey. Like Tiff is my girl. Like I don't really care about Kinsey at all. And then you got Orange Tribe that has Venus and Soda and Liz.
Oh yeah, Liz. Is Liz the person that we know the least about at this point?
Has to be.
She's just kind of a kook. She's like the village kook.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a ton from Orange Tribe outside of like we saw Soda a lot early, but Soda's been kind of absent the last couple of episodes, other than them talking about getting rid of her. And then you know the guys on like the Green Tribe's all solid. The guys on the Orange Tribe, we all know those, and we know the Purple Tribe very, very well, very well.
Yep.
One thing I thought was interesting, Q's also playing Kenzie a little bit and saying he may quit. Like Q does not stop playing. Like Q has been a consistent, like head on a swivel guy the whole time he's been on the island, which is interesting. Like I haven't seen like a shred of like his actual personality opinions, you know, like it's just like game or like I lost a beauty challenge, I'm mad. And I mean, he seems to have a good head on his shoulders. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the journey tonight in Hunter's challenge?
So that's okay. So I feel like, would you have been able to do that with the logos? I feel like you would have.
I did try it. I paused it and tried it. And I mixed up Vanuatu and Pearl Islands. That was the only one I missed. So I think I'd say I'm a Survivor super fan, but there's levels to this.
Yeah.
And there's people far beyond me. And I think that was a great like challenge to say like, hey guys, not everyone that's on this show is a super fan. Hunter was probably the super fanest of the three that were standing there,
Right.
and even he couldn't get them all.
Yeah.
And he missed a lot of them actually. And so like it's crazy when people act like they're all super fans. I'm like, guys, get on Twitter if you think that you're a super fan. Get on Reddit if you think you're a super fan, and you will learn that you are not on that level that some of these people are.
Yeah, 20 was a lot. I think if they did 10, it would have been more reasonable. But like, even I noticed that he put Karamoan in place of the first fans and favorites. I noticed that, and I haven't seen all the seasons. I've seen everything past like, I want to say like 18 and on, and then I've seen like probably like 5 before that.
That the first 10 are like, because I wasn't like watching the show when it came out, like the sense of like time of when they happened is kind of blurry. Like the All-Star seasons like make it easy to like reset that. Yeah. Because it's like, oh well, they played on this, they played on this, they played on this. But yeah, that was I think that was the only thing I messed up was Vanuatu and Pearl Islands. I got those mixed up.
Survivor, Jeff Probst cast this man. You know, he was better than Hunter. You know,
well, I mean, Hunter's better in the challenges. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
He probably knows a lot more about past challenges than I know too. So
yeah, I thought it was cool that they like allowed only one person got to go. Like it's like, hey, like, you know, talk amongst yourselves. Like this is hard. Like you need to be a super fan. Figure it out.
Well, I like that because you can opt out of it. Like you should be able to, like if you're going to risk your vote, you should be able to opt out.
Right.
Like it shouldn't be like you've got to risk your vote, especially with how hard these challenges have been on the journeys. Like
the challenges,
the puzzles on the journeys have been insanely hard.
Have we seen anyone get it? Like, have we seen a journey person actually come back with something? Like
Yes, that on the season premiere when it was like
with Maria
figure out which one of these people is lying, and Shalinsky's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have the whatever card. It's like, Jalinsky.
Yeah, that is like,
but like, I understand why he did that. But
somebody was gonna like come away with that anyway. You know, like, but the rest of them, they're basically impossible. Like the Sweat and Savvy ones. They didn't get that. Like this season, they're like, we're just going to give them like the hardest challenges. And like, people aren't going to get stuff and they're going to lose votes. And then we're going to have
losing votes sucks. Yeah. I hate how often people have lost their votes this season. Like if I was really worried, like Ben was going to go home purely because he didn't have a vote.
Yeah.
Like I was really worried about that. So the fact that he was able to stick around and not vote, like I think that says a lot about his like vibe, his ability as a strategic player.
Definitely. I do want to talk about the conversation that they had just before they made that decision. Like Hugh, Hunter, and Tim, like Hugh pulling up and being like, hey, look, when we go in the merge, I say like we pick one each. We're like, I got Tiff, like we're like the men. And as soon as Q volunteered for that, I was like, I know that conversation is going to happen. But he came into it and he was just not messing around. He was like, look, here's the thing. We're all like strong, powerful dudes. Just pick an ally. We're going to the final 6. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, easy for him to say because he's in the small tribe. Like that would put him on equal footing with the other two. Like,
yes,
of course he's going to say that. There's no way that alliance is going to happen.
But like, I feel like that is something where he could also just be like protecting himself temporarily, you know, because like if Tim's like, okay, like we need to make a move, maybe he can gear the conversation toward voting out Kenzie, or if Hunter's having that conversation, he can gear the conversation of like knocking out a Siga to like Mariah, you know, like then you still have a person that you like kind of trust, and you still have the person that you really trust, which I thought was like a very level-headed thing for Q to suggest and for them to go along with for now.
Yeah, and it keeps his options open too. Like, even if you're like, I'm not doing that, like, the longer it's on the table because of all 6 of you are in play, like the more real it can become if you need it to be real. If it does seem like it's going to work out best for you, you can try to like re-engage that conversation.
And Q gains a lot of information from that conversation because people are always so cagey on the journey. But when you're saying like, hey, let's make an alliance, tell me the person you're closest with. So he knows Tim is close with Maria, and he knows that Hunter is close with Tevin, and there go the balloons on Zoom again. So YouTube viewers, you're really getting a little extra special thing tonight. And a thumbs up. There you go. Yeah, yours isn't doing it. Just me. I just have animations turned on because I'm like that. Yeah. But like I thought that was very smart because now he knows who's everyone's aligned with. Which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Q, I like Q a lot. He's a good television character, and I think his head is in it, so I'm rooting for him. Honestly, I'm rooting for him and Tiffany both. And Kenzie, I'm like, okay if she goes far.
Bro, I love Kenzie. Like, I really like Kenzie. Like, she provides like a lot of energy. And I think they did kind of like clown her with the edit today. Like Q was like, yo, she always asks like, what y'all talking about? And then like 6 cuts of her just saying like, hey, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a good thing. It's a good question to ask when you're coming up on a group of people on Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get straight to the point.
And like it's like a fair question to ask. Like it's not something that's bad. It's just funny. Like for the edit to just put that together like that. Also the editors with the slow motion with YANU hitting the last target. Like slow motion, like 240 frames a second, just like mega slow, like Q releases it, shot of Kenzie's face just like staring, and then shot of like Tiff's face like exasperated, and then it hits the thing, and they're just like, yeah! And then they're like, yeah. That was, I love the editing of the new era personally.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
The part that got me was like the slow mo of the beanbag or sandbag like going through the air, spinning.
That like,
and
clearly,
I was like, this must have been from like whenever the Dream Team was running this challenge, you know how they do to get all that footage. Like, there's no way they got this shot of the sandbag in this exact moment doing this.
I guarantee you, like, they shot the like prior stuff of them running the challenge, and then they had the challenge, and then it took them like 30 minutes to get that shot. Like, just like, oh, you know what would be cool is if we like made it slow motion with the thing in the air with like spinning. You know, and like the background was completely different. It was like the sky. It's like this. That's so funny to me. But still loved it. A little bit of movie making magic right there. Yeah. Anything else on this episode of Survivor?
Not really. I'm feeling good about my winner pick, Charlie.
Yeah.
I think he played it great tonight. Like he gets the award for best player for me tonight. Just like getting Maria to vote the way that he wanted is really important because Maria, by voting with him, she's saying basically to Charlie, you're my number one.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to like do what you want to do. Like that's a feather in Charlie's cap that he can take with him. They've still got numbers. They're going into the merge with a strong tribe. He's got a strong, tight number one, but then he's got other people who also like it seems like Ben thinks Charlie's his number one too.
Yeah.
Like Jem kept talking to Ben tonight about how close Ben and Tim are. But Ben said something like, we're not even like that close or something like that. Like,
yeah,
I think that everybody on Sega thinks Charlie is their number one pretty much.
Yeah.
Except Mariah.
Mariah like was saying, she was like, Ben spends a lot of time with him and Ben's very charming. Which is again, we're seeing so much of Mariah and she's not doing anything. So like, I mean,
I
she's
mean,
gotta last. Like,
I don't know that she's not doing anything. Like, I didn't think she was in bad position tonight.
no,
Like I thought she was in a good position. Like, she has played things well to be in that spot. I think she's a good narrator, which is probably the main reason that she's getting a lot of confessionals.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it could be an Erica thing where they're like, oh, we didn't show Erica at all, so we need to remedy that. Or it could be that she's a good storyteller, like you're saying. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Cool. How's your bracket?
Busted, man.
Yeah.
Pretty busted.
Yeah.
I think I've got 5 of 8 Elite 8 teams available. All 4 of my Final Four teams are still in it, though.
Yeah.
So, like, potentially I could still rack up a lot of points if I hit those 5 Elite 8 teams and then those 4 Final Four teams.
Yeah.
And the 2 championship teams and the 1 championship team.
Yeah.
Like I could still make up a lot of points, but like as far as like I feel like if you have a lot of like ESPN they should weight the rounds differently. Like if you have like all the Sweet 16 teams, like in my mind, like picking the right upsets in the round of 64, like so picking the top 32 and the top Sweet 16 is like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's easier to pick the Elite 8 Final Four than it is to pick those first two games.
Definitely. Like if you pick the champion, you win most of the bracket pools that you're going to play. Like that's pretty much the way it goes because you're going to
Except this year, if UConn wins, because everyone picked UConn except me. I was like, I'm not going to pick what everyone else is picking.
So here's the thing. I know, like, I was looking up on FanDuel what the odds are of UConn winning the national championship, and they're still plus 220. They were like plus 400 when the tournament started, but I think that's still good value personally. So if we're making pitches of like sports bets on this podcast, that's my sports bet. Like hop on UConn right now and ride them. Those dudes are elite. So yeah. But my bracket's pretty good, and I have UConn winning. So, good year for me. I think it's funny, though. Like, I have a friend that she doesn't really follow it at all. She literally had 15 of the 16 first games done correctly. And I was like how's that possible? Like I think the only one she didn't get was, like, Oakland and Kentucky. But she got, like, all the 11s over the 6s. She got the 9s over the 8s that hit. And it's like, that's crazy. Like, and I honestly haven't really kept up with college basketball. This is the least I've kept up with college basketball in like 10 years, probably more. And I feel like I'm doing like kind of better than I normally do. And it's just crazy. I don't really get it, but I don't know. Maybe there's just something said for like vibes over like
there's a lot of
science.
luck involved.
Yeah.
In these types of things. So
yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about the swivel hip drop tackle or,
the no more kickoffs in the NFL?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about that? I'm pretty not with that, I guess.
I mean, there's like, honestly, there was more like the XFL did that, I think. And there was like some exciting kickoff returns still.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it necessarily makes it easier on the kicking team to tackle the guy. Like it's honestly easier for the guy to like see his blocks lining up more obviously. So I think it's like, I honestly don't think it's going to make a difference. There might be actually more kicks in play. There's just so many touchbacks anyways.
Yeah.
There might be more teams trying to kick it in play if they think they can tackle the guy like before he gets to the 25 or whatever. So I mean I think that'll be interesting, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference at all. So
I'm curious. Like I don't know how like the XFL is out with this, but I feel like some teams are going to figure that out, and they're going to have like a kickoff return, like aficionado, and they're going to score like 5 touchdowns off of it. But then some teams are going to be atrocious at it, you know?
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
Yeah.
The Lakers just beat the Grizzlies. The Lakers, if this was a game the Grizzlies should have won. I actually don't know if LeBron played tonight, but he didn't last night. This is the Lakers' second game of a back-to-back tonight. The Lakers won in double overtime against the Bucks last night in a crazy game without LeBron.
Yeah.
In an absolutely crazy game. So, I mean, the Lakers they're probably going to be in the play-in tournament again. I think they're in the 9th spot right now. But they're only, I think they're only a game and a half before tonight, a game and a half behind the Kings for 8. So if they can get up into, we've got to lose 2 not to make the playoffs. Like, I wouldn't want to play the Lakers in round 1. This is a team that was in the Western Conference Finals last year.
No, like I haven't really kept up with it that much, but also like I've heard rumblings of like the Rockets possibly passing the Warriors as well for like the 10th spot.
Yeah.
Which is like they're only a game and a half behind, and they do appear to be in better form. So, yeah, like I think I look at the standings every year, and I'm blown away by the NBA Western Conference and like the depth that it has and how good it is versus the East. Like I feel like I've been looking at the same standings and like misbalance of NBA teams for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like the Atlanta Hawks with Garrison Matthews are in the 10th spot right now in the East, and the Warriors are in the 10th spot in the West. Like riddle me that.
I think the gap is closer than it used to be, but it's still, the West is dominant. Ever since like when KD came back to the West, when Kyrie came back to the West or came to the West, like there's just, when Harden came out to the West this season, like there's just a lot. This season it's gone back to kind of how it was for a long time where the West is just dominant. I did feel like the last couple years before this one, it was kind of close, but with Embiid out, with the Bucks middling, even though they've got Lillard, I mean, the Celtics are like the cream of the crop in the East.
Yeah,
the Celtics are the only team in my mind that can beat the Nuggets in a finals. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's still the Nuggets have plus odds to win the West. They still have plus odds, and to win the finals, they're still even more than that plus odds. So I think I put a little bit down on that this week. Spice things up as we're heading towards the playoffs, baby. It's like 2 weeks from NBA playoffs starting. So it's a fun time of year.
Wow. Also, I want to shout out the Preds. They haven't lost in 18 games. I know we don't really cover hockey, but 2017 was electric, and if I can relive that, I want to. So
yeah,
let's do it. Let's go Preds.
Yeah. Hey, if they're going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals, I might turn the game on. So good for them.
Yeah. Cool.
What's his name? Barry Trotz turning it around here in Nashville.
He's back, baby. He's back. Yeah. Well, that's going to be it for us. I'm Joel. That's Michael. We just rehashed episode 5 of season 46 of Survivor, and we will see you all next week. Have a good one, y'all.
Peace out, y'all. The Clingers have spoken.